Thanks, Brandon!
Oh, goodness.
Yep, I've forgotten what my real face looks like.
No scars though.
He does.
I was bleeding.
Which, just like you, makes me an anomaly, an aberration.
Watch the switch.
You're too young to be on steroids, but
It's all good.
All right, you're going to introduce yourself.
I have to introduce my own self?
That's what I said.
Oh, man. Okay.
Who better to introduce themselves?
No
like,
doubt.
you're going to do it with way much more verve and
Okay.
enthusiasm
You
than
mean
I would.
as like in my character? Is that what we're doing by here?
I mean, yes and no, whatever. Oh my
Okay.
God, we should have gone over this first, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
No, it's all good.
I mean, you're Brutus Dylan.
Yes, I'm Brutus Dylan, or otherwise known as Jerry Wilson.
Yes.
I have been wrestling for 17 years now.
Holy shit, really?
And I'm only 35.
I was gonna ask, how old are you?
I was a junior in high school when I started
like
professional wrestling.
this kind of this?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
yeah, been doing it since 2006. So it was actually January 14th, 2006. So I'm actually coming up really close to 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a much longer than I was thinking.
Long time.
That's
Long
a
time.
very long time.
long
So
time.
I'm assuming it's I grew up watching wrestling and I couldn't think of any, like, is it that?
Well, no,
story?
honestly, no. It's no joke. I did grow up watching wrestling,
Okay.
yes. But my dad, who has passed away, me and him, that was our thing to do,
Aw.
was watch wrestling.
Okay.
And he passed away while I was in high school.
Oh.
And I always told him that I wanted to be a wrestler, and he always was like, one day you're going to be. And he passed away before he got to actually see me become a wrestler.
Right.
But that was my main reason to actually start wrestling, was because of him.
That's a pretty dope reason. I'm sorry, I'm so emotional.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
Shit. Well, where did you train?
I trained in town, actually. I was
We're in town.
South Bend.
Okay.
South Bend.
I know it's South Bend.
South Bend. So actually, I went to another event that was in South Bend,
Okay.
and I met up with these two guys that had their own ring. They had already been trained, and they were looking to start training people in town in South Bend. And so I met up with them, and then one day I went over to their house because they had their ring in like a big barn.
Oh. Okay.
Like at their house, and I met up with them and started training.
Oh.
And now we're here.
How long did you train for?
1 year.
So just 1 year flat.
Yeah, 1 year flat before I had my first match on a show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you just hit the ground running?
Well, it kind of, right at the beginning there, like anybody that does independent wrestling can tell you this, like right off the bat, you're probably just taking like those shows like of.
Okay.
And then when you get later on, that's when you start spreading your wings and
And flying.
and flying, yes. and moving on. So
where have you wrestled other than Indiana?
let's see here. Kentucky, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania.
That's a lot of states.
Yes.
God dang, what's your favorite one?
Probably yes here.
I mean, I like
other than here.
I
other
like
than
Indiana. I like Indiana and all, but my favorite is probably either Ohio or Illinois.
Really?
Just because they have a lot more companies that are in both.
Okay.
Like, more higher end companies, I guess I should say.
Okay, because I know there's some in Illinois.
Yes, and so those are probably my two favorite states to travel to. But yeah, I mean, I do love Indiana. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
But,
obviously, we also love Indiana, or we wouldn't come like pretty much every month.
No doubt.
From Michigan.
Hmm.
So, who have you wrestled against that you want to, but you want to again, but you haven't?
So are you asking
like just in general, like over the course of your
people that
career?
I have wrestled?
Yes,
and that I would like to wrestle again.
Yes, and you never really did.
Oh Lord, that's a long list.
Is it?
I would like to wrestle Isaiah Morgan one-on-one. We actually just had our first singles match back in April of this past year, and yeah, it was in South Bend at the Century Center. That was our first time we ever had a singles match one-on-one.
Is it really?
We've had like tag matches and stuff.
Okay.
And multi-man matches, but that was our first time ever going one-on-one.
It's different.
And I really, really, really enjoyed that match, and I would really like to wrestle him again sometime. Anybody else off the top of my head? I just got to actually it was last weekend. I got to wrestle with a guy named Dan Moff.
Okay.
He's from the East Coast.
Oh.
And it was like wrestling him was like just so easy because it was like he was so laid back and everything just flowed so well, and it was just like, why can't this be every weekend? You know, but
is it not like that all the time?
Sometimes it's difficult. So sometimes things don't go as planned.
All right, I mean that happens.
Yeah.
Do you call a lot in the ring, or do you like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I can't really tell. Like, it has to be overt, very overt for me to notice.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, I guess it wouldn't be wrestling though if you didn't have hiccups here and there.
I mean, most people, you especially, you recover nicely, I feel like. Because, again, I don't notice. So you must recover nicely. I notice when you don't, like when people, that's when I notice you effed up.
For sure. That also comes with experience. And like I said, I have 17 years of it. So I kind of know, hey, if something goes wrong, I got to cover it up, So
do you teach? Did I hear that correctly?
I do. Me and Kevin Storm are the head trainers here at RCW.
So it's a school and a wrestling company?
Yes.
Okay.
We call it the RCW Asylum. And we have trained several people that you know of. Travesty.
Okay.
Richard Wright. Let Her Rip.
Favorite.
We also did train Chad Nails.
All right, also favorite. No, sir. You can't just say it like that and just go on like you didn't just say it like that.
I did say that.
Wow. Wow. He is not that bad. Anyway, continue.
And then we also trained Sean Sparks.
Really? Okay.
And we've trained
so like all of my favorites so far.
Like I mean, a lot of the people that you see on RCW shows like have actually come out of our school. Like, I mean, yeah, there's people that come from outside, but a big group of them are mostly from our school.
And a lot of them are, I've noticed, starting to travel more.
Yes.
Like yes, PWK, obviously. I know you guys work like together-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which really gotta say, it's nice. There's a lot of promotions I feel like would benefit from working with each other.
Yes.
Not being so like, I'm gonna piss on this doorpost and it's mine now. I don't know. It's just
and it used to not always be like that with everybody, but like it comes a point in time that like you just have to be like, all right, it's better to work together than work against one another.
I mean, I would think so.
Yeah.
So you're like the man in charge then.
I'm one of the people in charge. Yes, one of them.
I feel like you're the biggest person in charge.
Well, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm like 6'8".
I was gonna ask how tall are you, because you're the only person that I've met in real life that I feel small. I've only like really talked to him when he's been sitting down, so it doesn't count.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I feel small, and I never feel
6'8",
small.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So is there anything that's harder for you think is harder for you to do because you're so tall?
I mean, obviously, like, there's stuff that, like, when I was first learning, because I'm a big guy. Like, yeah. I'm not only tall, I'm also a big guy.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was first learning how to wrestle, like, there's a lot of the things, like, I just couldn't do because I'm a bigger guy.
Okay.
Right? And it was more difficult for me to try to do. There's things to this day that I still don't do because it's unsafe for a big guy like me to do that. You know,
like top rope jumping?
Oh yeah, I'm not.
I feel like
also,
you would
you're
break
never
the
going to catch
ring,
me up
sir.
there because I'm afraid of heights.
Oh, so am I. They're awful.
So yeah.
So I'm.
You're never going to catch me. I'll go to the middle rope, but
that in itself. I'm like, that's so high.
Yeah, no, I will not go to the top rope.
Okay,
so.
good. I'm here for that.
Yeah, like I said, it's just things that like there's certain little things that smaller people can do that I can't do. Obviously.
Do you have to like bump differently or like roll differently or anything?
You definitely have to work differently.
Okay.
Yes, because as a big guy, you're not going to take as many bumps.
I mean, that makes sense because you really have to work to get you down.
Yeah,
that's not really realistic otherwise.
Like, and the funny part about that was when I first learned how to wrestle, my trainers didn't teach me that because they weren't big dudes.
Okay.
So until I met Steve Kong.
Yes.
Kong's the one that actually taught me how to wrestle like a big guy.
Oh. I mean, that makes sense. You would have to know there's nuances, I'm sure.
For sure. So when I met him, which was actually, I started in 2006, I met him, I want to say in 07 or 08. And until then, I was wrestling like a normal small dude. I was taking bumps for people. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
I would not believe.
You know, I didn't know what I was doing. And then I met Kong.
Well, thank God for that.
I met Kong and he was like, he literally grabbed me and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just wrestling." And he's like, "You're not wrestling how you're supposed to." And I was like, "Okay." So then he actually, he was the one that taught me how to wrestle like a big guy.
All right.
Yes.
All right. No, that makes sense because, you do really have to approach everything differently.
You have to approach almost every aspect of your character and your matches and everything. You have to definitely go at it differently. So
you're not always a heel, right?
No, obviously here at RCW, I'm a babyface.
Everybody loves you.
Everybody loves me here. They hated me
last year.
They hated me last year.
I loved you last year. Just for the record, I loved you last year.
They hated me, but they had good reason. But
I don't know.
You know,
it's not a good reason.
But yeah, no, they love me here now. It's funny because around here, around Indiana, like I'm mostly babyface, but like when I go travel, I'm mostly heel.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier for me to be a heel.
Is it?
Like because
you're so nice though. I feel like all the best heels are the nicest freaking people.
That's the thing because you get to portray something you're not. So you're like, oh, this is gonna come easy because you want to be that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really do sometimes. Yeah.
So,
that makes so much sense.
So yeah, like I said, mostly when I travel though, I'm a heel. Rare occasion, I might be a babyface, but around here, I'm strictly babyface.
And you like the heel better?
I do, yeah. It's much more fun to go out there and you know get people mad at you.
You're real good at it.
So.
You're real good at it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I even feel a feel sometimes, and I love you. I always holler for everybody. I don't care if they're heels or not.
Well, you know, now I've been to a couple shows though where I was a heel and they cheer me anyway. So I was like, well, okay, I'm still going to be a heel. I mean, whatever.
I mean, we like our bad guys.
No doubt.
That's a thing.
Wrestling has changed nowadays because a lot of bad guys, a lot of heels get cheered because
we know what we're about. We know that you guys are bad, and we love that you're bad.
You know,
because we can't be bad.
And
so you're bad for us.
It's just literally, like I said, wrestling has evolved so much that there's not a strict line now between babyface and heel. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
What else has changed, do you think?
I think just like how like you go about matches nowadays, like compared to back in the day.
Okay.
To now. Like it's so much more like dynamic now than it used to be back
really
then, you know, like now you go and see these shows and they're doing like a million spots in the match and you're just like back in the day this would never happen, you know.
Really?
You know, like if you ever watch any like 80s wrestling.
I mean, I've watched like a couple.
Okay, have you ever watched a Hulk Hogan match?
Well,
okay, watch a Hulk Hogan match and tell me if you think he does a bunch of spots, because he does not.
Oh.
Like they're out there doing basic moves.
Actually, yeah, no, now that you say that, I've seen matches and I'm like remembering now. Yeah, it is very basic.
It's very basic back in the day. It was more along the lines of they were grappling instead of actually
I like grappling.
You know, instead of actually like, oh, I'm going to kick you and then we're going to do this and then we're going to do that. Like, no, like it was more about like actually like wrestling.
I like the grappling. I feel like it's not done enough, and it's very, if it's done correctly, it can be exciting and engaging.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, that's why I said wrestling's just changed now, though. And I'm not saying it's changed for the worse or for the better, but you know,
which is preferable.
It just depends on where you're at, to be honest with you.
Really?
Like, if you're a WWE fan, like a strict WWE fan,
okay,
you're probably gonna like that more of like that old school style.
Do they still wrestle?
Some of them do.
Okay.
Like if you ever watch a John Cena match, he does the same 6 moves.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah, that's true. But he's so charismatic.
He is,
and he's a large man.
WWE also is all about like characters.
Yeah, they are, and I like that. But you are down here too. I mean, you especially, but like everybody down here is so character centric, and I love it.
And that's something that we teach at our school too.
I'm
like, look, you guys have to play your character. Like, they're not gonna know who you are if you don't play your character. Like,
no.
If you just come out there and say, "Hey, I'm here," like, no, like nobody cares. You know, like nobody cares though. Like, you have to get people invested. You do. You really do. You have to get people like rooting or booing for you, one or the other. And the easiest way to do that is play your character, because then they'll be like, "Oh, well, that guy's kind of cool," or "Oh, we hate that guy. Oh, we love that person." Oh my God, it's like you're inside of my head.
That's psychology.
But that's...
You have to have something to root against.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, like, I don't care who you are. Make me want to like you. Make me like you. I'm not going to like you unless you make me. I'm going to work for that.
The best advice I give anybody that starts training with us is make the person in like the 4th row believe what you're doing. Not the people in the front row, the 4th row. I like that. Because if they believe it, then everybody in front of them should believe it. Yeah, that's true, and they will. And they really will. Oh, that's smart. I like that. So are you taking new students? All the time.
I refer people? I feel like I sort of know that there was a school down here, but then I just kept forgetting about it. If anybody, if you want to give anybody information, they can check us out on Facebook. Okay. It's facebook.com/join the revolution RCW. Oh, all right. And then they can message us. And then we'll go about talking about all the terms there as far as training wise. So how long do they have to train here before they go wrestle somewhere? A lot of them have trained up to a year. Okay. Because that was what I got trained as. So that's what sense. I tell everybody, hey, look, I want you to be prepared, because I don't want you to go out there and like stink up the place. I mean, no, yeah. I mean, you're representing where you're coming from, right? Yes, and then there is people that pick it up quicker than a year. I mean, and that's fine. Okay, I'm cool with that, but I'm still not going to let you go work a match until I know that you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Enough. So, and that's why I say, hey, a year of like solid training, you should be prepared. I mean, you should be anyway. In theory, I feel like if you're not ready in a year, I mean, do people go longer? Does that happen? Some people have. Like, I've had a couple students that like, they get to their year and they still don't feel like they've learned enough or feel like they've done enough to where they feel like they're comfortable in having their first match. And so I'm like, okay, well then let's keep going. Let's keep working and practicing and everything else. But the only way you're ever going to learn though is if you actually get into a match. During practice, like we do all the practice stuff. Okay. But we also have matches at the end of our practices. Oh, all right. Because you're never going to learn unless you get into a match. I mean, that's true. Because you can learn how all the traffic signals and stuff that you still need to get in a car to learn how to drive. I can teach you how to do all the moves in the world, but if you don't know how to put them together and go into a match, then what are you doing? I mean, not wrestling. For sure. You're just doing exercises. Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah. So, like, What are your plans for the future?
Well, obviously, anybody's aspirations when they get into wrestling, they want to make it bigger.
Okay.
Do I think, with me being 35, do I think I can make it to WWE? Probably not. Who knows?
I mean,
I do have aspirations to being on TV one day, whether it be Impact,
I was
AEW,
gonna say like Impact or
something along those lines. I mean, yes, everybody should want, if they really want to make it in this business, they should shoot to try to be on WWE.
I mean, yeah.
But you also have to look at this as an age thing as well. WWE likes to pick those 20 to 25.
They are all pretty like cookie cutter looking to it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a little bit difference, but they're all just basically the same.
And nowadays, they actually sign a lot of people just right out of high school, or not high school, but right out of college.
Oh.
Yeah, like they get you, like they know you played college sports, and they get you right out of college, so they can teach you how to wrestle.
I mean, really, that's smart.
Yeah.
If you want to corner the market on good talent,
For sure.
that would be what one would want to do.
But yeah, that's my goal, is to be on TV.
Okay.
Whether it be Impact, AEW, whatever it may be. And then from there, I mean, I just want to keep teaching people. Like, I just want to keep bringing up new students and, and getting more people interested in actually wanting to wrestle.
That's pretty dope. And you really do put on really good shows.
We try.
Like, everybody always says that, but I mean, consistently, there's never been an issue. Like, I've had issues with other companies, pretty much every other company. Not here.
Well, I remember you said you didn't like the light tubes that one time.
Oh, that's look, you paid attention to me.
I did.
No, that's just a deathmatch thing. I'm not a big deathmatch fan.
Trust me.
Like, zero amount.
I've done 2, and I really don't know if I want to do any more.
I don't like them. I think they're gratuitously violent for no good reason. You can beat the crap out of each other and not use tubes. Good. They can hit each other with light tubes.
I was about to say it's a different audience, and it's a whole different side of wrestling that has gotten more popular.
It has. I think people are really that's why we like heels, though. We're all really angry, and you express it for us. So
sure.
It probably translates into the death matches, but I'm not that angry.
You also have to. I always like to say, you have to be a different breed of person to want to do death matches on a regular basis.
I mean,
because you're getting cut up, you're landing in light tubes and tacks and everything else, like, and you're doing that on a weekend basis.
And you're scarring your body all up.
I mean, you have to be a different breed of person to be a deathmatch wrestler.
I agree.
Well, MM3 and Tommy Vendetta, they don't do it weekly. They space them out.
Do you ever get to Detroit? Do you go to Detroit?
I was actually just in Detroit last week.
Shut up! Really?
Was it last week? No, 2 weeks. No, last week. Yeah, last week Saturday. I worked for a company called UWF.
Okay.
It was in like smack dab, like downtown Detroit almost.
Oh.
And that promotion's ran by Tony Thunder.
That name sounds familiar.
He's also on our RCW shows.
Hallelujah! Yeah. I sort of remembered somebody's. Oh, he's on my list of people I want to interview.
For sure.
Haha.
He's a very he's
So
a very colorful character. Let's put it that way.
All right. Because I feel like the Detroit scene is missing somebody like you. They don't have. I mean, they have some big guys. Don't get me wrong, but not. Ow. Shouldn't have done that. There's no giants over there.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I said, yeah, I don't get up to Michigan too much anymore nowadays.
Sorry, you're missing out on the literal best state. I really don't like it that much.
It's all good though. Like, I'm a very busy guy though. Like I'm wrestling 2-3 times a weekend every weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah. So that's why I said sometimes it's maybe just it's not the fact I don't want to go to Michigan. It's the fact that I'm usually busy already. So
and when you want to be on TV, you have to apply for that stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's like a job.
You have to apply, or it also too, and this is kind of a behind the scenes thing, but if you know somebody,
I mean, that's pretty much every business.
Like if you know somebody that'll put in a good word for you,
you know somebody. You know a famous person.
Well, I know a lot of famous people, but you know, like it's the matter of, do they want to, like, some people don't want to help other people.
Okay.
Because they don't want their spot taken.
I mean, fair. That's dumb, but I understand. I can understand.
But some people have that mentality.
No, I get that.
And so you have to pick and choose, like, who you trust. You know, because it's like, hey, I don't know if this person would actually vouch for me. Are they gonna say like, hey, he's a big guy, but he can't wrestle worth a damn?
I mean,
like,
I can imagine a person doing that, actually.
So
as abhorrent as that is.
That's why I said, like, it's all about who you know most of the times nowadays.
I mean, again,
to get your foot in the doors. So
it's like the old boys club. I said that's corporate America. So apparently, I mean, WWE is a corporation. They do run it like such.
Now they're like, you literally have to apply and go to a tryout, and like you have to jump through hoops. But like something like an AEW might be the same way ish. Impact is kind of like you can try out because they do have tryouts.
Okay.
But it's also who you know that's already at Impact.
Okay.
That might be able to help you get your foot in the door.
Got you.
You know.
So it's a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
I like to call them the elevated indies. No, it's not. I mean, it's really what it is. Like, I like to call them the higher end indie promotion.
I mean,
like,
where are they even out of? Everybody says
right now they are out of, is it Tennessee, Kentucky? That's where their home base is. But like now that they've switched back to being TNA,
okay,
they're going to be doing shows in Florida and everywhere else. But their home base has been, I want to say it's Tennessee. I could be wrong.
It was Canada for a little while.
It was Canada. It was Canada when Anthem bought them out, and now they've moved back to the States.
So they're just like they're like the indie shows like in Chicago and stuff.
That's where
they're like I said, I like to call them the elevated indies, and that's not a stab at them. That's literally like,
this is wrestling. This is work. Like,
you know, like they are literally like, if you're trying to get to that next level, you should want to go there.
Okay.
You know,
well, there's tiers to this stuff.
Yes.
There is. And you have to work up. It's like getting promoted at work. Like, you don't want to be a mail clerk I mean, you might want to be a mail clerk for the rest of your life. I don't know your life, but I wouldn't want to be a mail clerk the rest of my life.
No, I wouldn't survive.
No, neither would I. So you're wrestling tonight. I know. Who are you wrestling? I don't remember. Is it a secret?
It's a secret.
Or are you just screwing with me?
No, it really is a secret.
It really is a secret?
I'm not. There's no match promoted for me.
Wait, you're wrestling though, right?
I am wrestling on the show, but I don't. Do
you know?
I don't even really know.
You were lying. You were lying. You are not going to just go and wrestle some rando.
Look. all I can say is watch the show.
Well, I'm here.
I know you are.
Like, how can you guys are on YouTube, right?
Yes.
I don't ever watch your matches because I'm always here.
If you type in Brutus Dylan on YouTube, you can find loads and loads of matches.
I think he's done that before.
You don't have to subscribe.
Oh, I'm subscribed. Okay, special man.
Yeah, no, like, being honest, like, there's nothing
so you really
set in stone tonight. So we'll just say we're gonna play it by ear.
Oh, that's exciting, and I have too much anxiety for that. I would, like, as a passenger, like, I'll watch it and I don't care, but if I was doing it, no, I would want to know.
I've been to a bunch of shows where, like, I don't know who I'm wrestling or don't know what I'm doing before, and like, it's even been like where the match has changed right before the show starts.
Are you serious?
And then I'm like, now when I was younger in the business, that freaked me out.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, now I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, let me go talk to them. Like, you know, let's figure out what we're doing.
Oh. So, I mean, I guess that's a good way to go about it.
But I mean, back in the day, I was like petrified. I'd be like, I already planned out what I'm doing. Like, why are we changing it up? Like,
is it hard to do that? Like, do you plan it out now in your head and then, like, just replan it when you find out, or just don't plan it ahead?
Honestly, if I know who I'm already wrestling on shows, I'll have like some stuff in my head that I think we should do.
Okay.
Because I'll know that they do certain stuff.
Okay.
And I do certain stuff. So how can we make this all work?
Okay, that makes sense.
But like, I don't have anything like surefire planned out till I actually talk with them.
Okay.
So
that probably helps with a.
Just in case if something does change,
yeah,
then it's like, okay, well, I'm not doing that no more, so I guess I'm gonna go and do this now. Okay, cool.
So have you wrestled anybody famous besides Kong? Obviously, Kong's
I have a list here, so here we go.
Oh.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Okay.
King Kong Bundy.
Oh.
Marty Jannetty.
I think I know that one.
Abyss. Eugene. So many people.
Apparently.
I can't really think anymore off the top of my head now. 17 years has been a long time.
Getting old.
I am. And I'm only 35, but I try to explain to people that 17 years in the wrestling business and you only being 35 means I'm like 50.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I thought you were like 28 or 29.
35.
And just a large man.
Nope.
So.
I'm trying to think of who else though. Like, I'm really, really confused now. One guy, I mean, a lot of the indie people will know him. Not maybe like so like super famous, but
I think you're super famous.
But a guy by the name of Tom Lawler. He was in the UFC.
Okay.
And then he jumped ship over into wrestling. And he's known for being like in like New Japan, and he's known for being like on bigger indie companies.
Okay.
I got to work with him this past year, and it was one of like the best experience I ever had.
Really?
He gave me a lot of great knowledge on how to like pace myself.
Okay.
And everything like that. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed working with him. I just got to wrestle Dan Moff last week. He's a former Ring of Honor superstar. That's all I can think off the top of my head. I know there's a bunch more just because I've wrestled a bunch. Oh, Shark Boy. Sorry. I can't forget that.
That name sounds familiar. I feel like I know them.
I mean, he's the only one that has a shark fin on his head. I mean,
I feel like I do. Look, I don't make any pretense about my memory. It's worse now, so I'm sorry.
No, it's all
I
good.
remember you. I didn't even need to look in my calendar. Like, I remembered this interview. I remembered what time it was.
For sure.
You're famous to me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm local celebrity.
I mean, I'm 2 hours away. You're a little.
That's what I said. I'd say I'm local celebrity.
You are a local celebrity.
I've been on TV in South Bend.
Oh.
Like, I've been on like the news and
really?
And stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. So who do you want to wrestle that you've never wrestled? That's still wrestling, obviously.
Like, I can pick anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Holy cow.
Why couldn't you pick any? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, because sometimes, like, you have to look at this as, like, I can't really, like, if I want to wrestle anybody on the indies, or if I want to wrestle anybody in WWE, or if I want to wrestle anybody.
I want to know who you think would be the best match, obviously, but matching to you.
Matching to me?
Would make the greatest match on earth, and people would be like, wow.
I don't know what the greatest match on earth.
Well, I mean, perhaps it's a little, let me go with it.
I mean, if I really had to sit back and think, I would definitely love to, not so much, I mean, I would work with him, obviously, but I'd like to gain knowledge from the Big Show.
Oh.
Because, obviously, he came up in it, like, he was always big, always 7 foot tall.
He is a large man.
I would just like to sit down and like pick his brain.
Does he ever have like seminars? He's got a show, doesn't he?
No, he wrestled. He just had a match the other day, but he's on AEW.
Okay.
But if I could ever just sit down, even if it was just for like 15, 20 minutes and just pick his brain.
Really? So even now obviously you learned stuff from the guy you did the match with. You still want to learn? You always
learn. You never stop learning.
Never.
I will learn whatever match I have tonight. I will learn something from it. And because you always constantly are learning, whether it be even like the littlest thing, like, oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore.
Okay.
Or maybe I should do this. Or how could I have done that? Like, it just always, there's always something you can learn.
So if you're not learning, there's a problem then?
Yes, very much
Okay.
so. Very, very much so.
And you there was a seminar here. I'm assuming you go to all the seminars.
I do take. I've taken a lot of seminars. I didn't take the one today because I was busy running around like a chicken with the head cut off. But Ari Alexander, the one that was doing the seminar today, she's lovely. She's great. She's gonna have a match tonight against the women's champ Shauna Reed.
Oh, that's dope.
And so I'm really excited to see that match. But I just took a Sammy Callahan seminar 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I knew Sammy before Sammy was famous.
Ooh.
Like when I was first starting, Sammy was just starting.
Oh.
And so like now to see him, he's been to WWE, he's been to Impact, like he's done a bunch of stuff.
Oh, so he's famous.
Yeah, and so now to see him now and like I got to work a practice match in front of him. And he gave me literally probably the best advice I've ever heard in the world.
Really?
I'm not going to divulge what he said to me.
No, but that's fair enough.
But he gave me the best advice of what he believes I need to do to take that next step. See,
and that's legit. So, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like, and do you do that too?
I do. Like, I mean, when I see things, I'm like, hey, like this is what you could have done. Like, this is what you need to work on.
Okay.
Like, you know, like, and this is what I think if you did this, like, you're going to get noticed more.
Okay. So you don't just go to up somebody and be like, that was bad, bro.
No.
Okay. No. That's good. See, that means you're a good teacher then, you see.
Yeah. No, like, yeah, going and telling somebody that they suck is not going to help anybody.
No.
Like, I mean, like.
But what if they really suck? Like, what if, just hypothetically, they were so bad they were dangerous? Because I know safety is like paramount. Mm-hmm. I know safety is the top.
There's an easy way to go about talking to them.
Okay.
Like yelling and making them look like an idiot in front of everybody is not going to solve anything.
I appreciate that.
So, and that's just my philosophy. Other people that train probably have a different philosophy. It's not mine.
I'm glad for that because I feel like that doesn't lend itself to good training so much as being obedient so you don't get yelled at.
I mean, now here's the thing, like, am I always going to tell you that you did things correctly? No, because what are you going to learn from that?
Nothing. I'm
going to tell you, hey, that's good, do it again. Like, and if you don't do it right again, then I'm like, all right, keep working.
Okay.
You know, like, it's...
That sounds fair.
You know, like, I mean, it's... You don't ever want to give somebody the confidence that they're doing everything correctly.
Nobody does everything correctly all of the time.
You know, and because they're not going to learn. They're just like, oh, well, I wrestle perfectly.
I'm wonderful.
You know, no, nobody wrestles perfectly. I don't care who you are.
No, yeah, I have to agree with that because you can't. Yeah. Like you can have really good matches, but nobody's perfect.
Everybody's had a bad match.
Yeah.
Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
At least one, right?
Probably more. I've probably had thousands of them.
Have you really been in that many matches?
Well, you got to think. So 17 years, I average anywhere from like maybe like 200 to 300 matches a year.
Holy
just roughly.
Nikes.
Just roughly.
Okay.
I mean, that's give or take, you know.
All right. So even if we go on the low end too.
Yeah, so what's 2 or 3 times 17?
I don't know how to math.
I mean 2
times 10, that's like 2,000 right there. So then you add whatever the extra is.
That's why I said, so it's definitely, I definitely have thousands of matches under my belt.
All right. And you said thousands were bad. See,
I'm just saying. Like,
I want you to be a little nicer to yourself if you're nicer to other people.
For sure. But no, like I said, I literally like, everybody has a bad match. Everybody has a good match. You know, there might even be a match where you're like, it was all right. It wasn't great, but.
I mean, it was passable. Is that allowed sometimes just to have a like all right match? Because it's like work, right? You don't always give your A game sometimes.
There's been times where I've been like, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible and nothing got messed up, but it could have been better, you know. Like, and I guess that's just me being hard on myself too sometimes.
I mean, we're our own worst critics, I feel like.
Because I feel like I can always do better, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's how you're supposed to approach life, is always try to do better.
I never feel like, even if I have like a really, really, really good match and I know it was a really good match in the back of my head, I'm still always like, man, I could have done better.
I mean, that's part of the learning thing, though. And again, we're our own worst critic. If we're not, then, I mean, why try to do better? I feel like it's not an entirely bad thing.
I agree.
As long as you don't let it, like, I feel like, am I taking up too much?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
no,
all right.
I'm good.
Because there was silence, and then I saw your eyes flicking.
No,
and I wanted to make sure, because I'm not very observant of
no, it's
my
all good.
surroundings.
I'll know if I have to leave.
So what is your least favorite thing about wrestling? Not running the school, not like, but like
my
actual
least
like
favorite
wrestling.
thing is people that are entitled or feel like they are entitled.
Like people like me?
No.
Or
like,
other
like
wrestlers?
Other wrestlers.
Okay.
My second part to that is going to be fans that think they know better than what they do. I'm not saying you guys. What I'm saying is, you have that look like you're talking about me. No,
because you're so stern.
No, I guess my thing is like it's fans that like think they know the backside of the business.
Okay.
When you don't.
All right.
Like you have no clue what goes on.
I freely admit I don't know. I don't know ish.
Like, but it's those I like to call them smart marks.
Okay.
Is what I like to call them.
But are they smart though?
That's what they think they are. But I hate those people. I hate keyboard warriors that just think they can run their mouth.
Oh yeah, don't say anything online that you wouldn't say to my face.
Yeah,
bro.
no doubt. I can't stand them kind of people. And like I said, wrestlers that feel like they're entitled. And the reason why I say that is because like wrestling doesn't owe anybody anything.
Okay.
The business itself does not owe you a damn thing at all. And the reason why it doesn't, because it's like, what have you done that you feel like you are so entitled that you are better than everybody else?
All
like,
right.
I don't even care if you've been to WWE, been WWE champion, main evented WrestleMania. What makes you think, though, that you're better than the person that's on the indies that hasn't made it to WWE yet?
There's some,
but they're out there grinding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so just because you got your shot and you got your spot and everything, that's fine. But don't make it seem like you're better than everybody else.
I agree with that outlook, because they're not this. Because I've seen some WWE wrestlers, and I've seen better on the indies, and I'm like, why?
And I'm not just picking at WWE.
No, but like that kind of thing. Like I see people, and I'm like, they're famous. Why are they famous?
Like I said, it's just a sense of entitlement that I hate, and it happens on the indies a lot more than I think it does.
Really?
Because there's people that like been like, oh, I've been around forever. I've done this, this, and this. Like, I should be the top guy everywhere. No.
That's not how any of that works,
that's not
though,
how this
right?
Works. Like you should be the guy that's wanting to uplift because you've been around so long that you want to uplift everybody else.
Not be better than them.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's better to be a team player than be all about you.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like things go a lot smoother when you're able to like coexist with other people.
For sure.
Not lord things over them.
For sure.
That's
it's just, like I said, it happens more on the indies than anybody actually probably knows. And it's just like, those are the people I try to stay away from, because I'm just like, okay, I don't want to be around you because you're bitter and you feel like the wrestling business owes you something and it doesn't.
Well, it doesn't owe you anything any more than any other business. Like, you have to work for what you get, right?
For sure.
Like, this is not just my dad was a wrestler, so now I am a wrestler too, and I'm the most famous and the best at everything.
No. So, yeah, so it's just, those are the kind of people I really dislike. And that's the things I don't like about wrestling now. If we want to go the opposite, things I do like about wrestling.
Yes, I was going to ask, what are your favorite things?
I love seeing people succeed that I've helped.
Oh, I love that.
I love when people that are around me that are in like my close knit of people. Like obviously, I have a group.
Yes,
it's a close knit of people.
I noticed that.
And when, sorry,
Right.
and when they succeed, I succeed.
Aww.
Now, I would hope they feel the same way. When I succeed, they succeed.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, if I got signed tomorrow, I would hope they would know I'm not going to forget who they are.
Well, no.
You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, it really would only benefit everybody, first off, that you trained.
For sure.
Like,
because they'd be like, oh, well, my trainer is now in the WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
Or AEW or whatever.
And that makes their prestige grow
for sure
a little, because it's like a dog and pony show. For the most, it is kind of carny.
It's a great word that everybody likes to use, carny.
My dad was a carny.
So.
I don't say it in a derogatory.
No, I understand though. Trust me.
At all, but it's a show. It's like I want to say minstrel. That's the word I was looking for.
Yep.
It's like in the Shakespeare time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like that's what I like about wrestling, is seeing the group I have around me, the people that support me, I support them. If they succeed, I succeed.
It's like a work family.
You know, so yeah.
So what do you do besides wrestle? Do you do anything besides wrestle?
Besides working?
Yeah. Besides working and wrestling?
I mean, not so much. I mean,
Does anybody have any personal time?
You're funny.
I'm unintentionally.
No, I honestly, my life is consumed with wrestling.
Really?
But it's the life I chose.
I mean, fair enough.
Like, I watch it every day.
Really?
Like, I watch wrestling every day. I always am wanting to talk about wrestling. I want to study more. I want to learn more. Like, when I'm talking about RCW, like, we got to do that business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm always looking for other bookings. Like, I'm always doing something wrestling related. Even when I'm at work, because I'm a sales representative.
Okay.
So I drive around to different spots, but I'm also on my phone doing work. You know.
Fair enough.
Look,
I edit my videos at work, so they said I could do interviews at work, so they're very supportive.
All right, go them. I don't know who you work for, but go them. No. But yeah, like I said, I'm always constantly about wrestling.
So you're very into wrestling. Like, there is no half or quarter or three quarters. It is your essence at this point.
This is what my life is. My family knows, like my mother especially, like she knows my life is consumed with wrestling. She doesn't like me wrestling.
Why?
She only comes to one show a year, and that's the cancer benefit I put on for my dad.
Okay.
Every year. And she does that because, it's for my dad.
So that's for your dad?
Yes.
I was not aware.
And we donate back to hospice because that's who took care of him when he was on his last month of living.
And they did with my mom's last week.
And so wonderful. I donate to them every year.
That's
because
wonderful.
Of that. And she comes to it, but that's the only show every year she'll come to. She doesn't want to, as she would say, she doesn't want to see her baby boy get hurt.
I was just going to ask, is it because she doesn't... Did she realize how large you are?
I'm also her only child.
Oh.
So.
Okay, yeah. No, I as a mother, I can totally, feel that feel.
But my family knows my life is consumed with wrestling. I've missed so many family outings because of wrestling. And they understand, like, they know, like.
I mean, it's a choice you're making.
It's the life of a wrestler if you want to succeed in the business. Like, you always have to be grinding. Always.
Always. So when you go to other shows, do you set up and tear down the ring?
Yes and no. It all depends on how far away I'm driving.
Okay. Like, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, like, I mean, and this is me being honest. Like, if a show's like 3-4 hours away, I may not be there for setup. I may be able to just be there for tear down.
Okay.
You know.
But you still do it, though.
Yes, I still, like, even though, like, this RCW is my thing. I help set up and I help tear down. I don't have to. I shouldn't have to. Like
I mean,
we have a bunch of people that can help,
right?
But what I'm saying is, I do it because I want RCW to succeed, and any time that it does succeed, it makes me the happiest person ever. Like, because when I decided to quit wrestling, I'm still gonna run RCW, like just because I still want to be involved in wrestling.
Okay.
I may just not be able to actually physically wrestle anymore.
All right.
So,
I mean, that does happen. The body is not always very forgiving, especially of the things that you do to it.
I've done some really stupid things too. So.
I feel like every single wrestler on the face of the planet has done very stupid things.
Very sure.
Y'all make me nervous.
That's the life we live.
I mean, it's a choice you're making. I can totally vibe with your mom not wanting to see more than one show, though.
She hates it. She says, I come to that one, but that's it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh.
So you have no personal life. It's just all wrestling.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Do I like to sit down and watch football? Yes.
Do you watch football?
I do. I watch more college football than I do pro football.
Okay.
I'm a big Notre Dame fan.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I know.
If you're a Michigan fan, my bad.
No, I'm not. I don't like Michigan's colors are ugly.
Oh, okay.
Notre Dame's are Dom. Is it Dame? Dom?
It's Notre Dame. Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Their colors are pretty okay.
Like.
I know nothing about sports or zero amount.
I mean, but like 9 times out of 10, mostly like in my life's consumed with wrestling or talking about wrestling.
Does it ever get too much? Like, do you ever want to just be like, shut up, I'm so tired of talking about wrestling?
Yeah, there is times like where like I'm like, oh man, like I just don't want to do it today. But then I'm like, if I don't do it, and then I'm like, okay, like what am I doing? Like there's even been times where like I went out to dinner with friends and we all say, hey, we're not going to talk about wrestling. And what's the first thing we do? We all sit there, we're eating, talking about wrestling. And I'm like, I thought we said we weren't going to talk about this today. But you know, it just happens. It's the life of a wrestler.
Fair enough.
So,
well, thank you for taking some time out of your life. You are very welcome.
I appreciate you and Brian doing this. So,
oh, we love you. You're like my most favorite. I was so. My heart rate went up so high when I asked you.
I'm not a scary guy.
No, it's because you're famous, though. You're famous to me, and it's weird. But then I got to remember, I just talk to people, so like it's not really that big of a deal, right? Even though you're famous.
No, I mean, even like you get to know people, and you're just like, all right, well, they're actually not what I thought they would.
No,
be,
you're very nice. So. You look very gruff and mean. Like you.
I definitely pull off that vibe, but I'm
not. You would smack my head off my shoulders. You probably literally could.
But no, I definitely am not that person. So.
No, you are very nice, and I appreciate you very much.
And I appreciate you both. Like I said, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So, all right, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you. All right.